Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to our 8th week of occupation at Occupy London, and welcome Reverend Jeffrey Jackson. We think it's important to share with you, Reverend Jesse Jackson, our initial statement, which was made by over 500 people on the steps of St Paul's on the 16th of October 2011. The current system is unsustainable. It is undemocratic and unjust. We need alternatives. This is where we work towards them. We are of all ethnicities, backgrounds, genders, generations, sexualities, disabilities and faiths. We stand together with occupations all over the world. We refuse to pay for the bank's crisis. We do not accept the cuts are either necessary or inevitable. We demand an end to global tax injustice and our democracy representing corporations instead of the people. We want regulators to be genuinely independent of the industries they regulate. We support the strike. We supported the strike on the 30th of November and the student action on the 9th of November, and actions to defend our health services, welfare, education and employment, and to stop wars and arms dealing. We want structural change towards authentic global equality. The world's resources must go towards caring for people and the planet, not the military, corporate profits or the rich. The present economic system pollutes land, sea and air, is causing massive loss of natural species and environments, and is accelerating humanity towards irreversible climate change. We call for a positive, sustainable economic system that benefits present and future generations. We stand in solidarity with the global oppressed, and we call for an end to the actions of our government and others in causing this oppression. This is what democracy looks like. Come and join us!
Right, before the Reverend Jackson goes on, we have a couple of other speakers. So I'd like to welcome Lee Jasper, who is the co-chair of Black Activists Rising Against the Cuts. He is a long-standing human rights activist challenging racism and injustice.
Is he a reverend though? Is he a reverend?
She just said she doesn't want to come through. Tell her. Shut up.
Thank you. We bring solidarity and greetings from black communities all around United Kingdom to the Occupy movement. We know what that injustice feels like. We know what injustice feels like. When the boom times hit the United Kingdom, black communities didn't see trickle-down economics, neither did poor white communities. That benefit, that bankers and economy bonus bypassed us. We suffer high levels of unemployment. We suffer high levels of educational failure. We have seen our community centres ripped out to pay for the profligate use of these reckless casino bankers. We watch this government rob poor people in order to keep the starving rich in a lifestyle that they have been accustomed. And today we stretch out our hand in solidarity and say that this movement needs to be an anti-racist movement, because when the economy dives, racists like the English Defence League, the British National Party and Cameron himself will seek to scapegoat Muslims, women, lesbian and gay communities. All will find themselves subject to that victimization. So today we're desperately proud to be here. This is the opening of a dialogue between London's black communities and this Occupy movement. We are one movement, we are one people, we have one aim, we have one destiny, and that's the overthrow of this system. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is the Bishop Wayne Malcolm, who is a leading representative of the progressive majority black churches. He's a long tradition of supporting and working with communities. He also represents the community empowerment program, Operation Hope and Recovery, established in the wake of the riots last year in August.
He's my husband.
Thank you. I bring you greetings from a network of progressive black churches, as well as a movement, a grassroots movement, Operation Hope and Recovery, that was set up in the wake of the riots that we saw in August as a result of injustice, blatant, flagrant injustice. And today we are sending out love and solidarity with you standing together with one voice to defeat injustice. It is my deep conviction that if enough people say enough is enough, that we can make a difference. And make a difference we will. We are not going to sit by idly and watch the crime of the century take place before our eyes. We are not going to allow the poor to pay for the mistakes, the mismanagement, the corruption, and the greed of the rich. So we stand with you as one people with one voice to say enough is enough.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mela Manning, who is 12 years old. She's the youngest child political blogger in the United Kingdom. She's got a nickname, the Lib Dem child. She's also, by the press at some point in time, was tipped as being the future Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So, welcome, Mela.
Good afternoon, Occupy. It's an honour and a privilege to be here today. This is one of my favourite places in the world. I'm here today as a child to contribute to my future through debate and exchange of ideas. I want to live in a country where the level of inequality is small and where children are able to get the best education no matter which school they go to and what area. No doubt we will always have people who will earn more than others because people's abilities differ. But I do want to live in a country where children can afford to eat at home, have heating and have a childhood. Poverty affects childhood's well-being. Children from poor families have more problems such as mental health, school achievements, alcohol abuse and teenage pregnancies. Youth unemployment is now at 1.027 million. I have every reason to worry about our young, and I'm grateful to Occupy for providing the space for me to talk about these things. To me, a child, capitalism is scary. It presents an illusion of how if you work, you will have decent standard of living. This isn't the case. People have lost jobs through no fault of their own. I'm struggling to understand what forces are at play that allows 1% to keep accumulating wealth, while there are children in this country who don't even have breakfast before school because their parents can't afford it. Sorry. And we have had a free market economics for 30 years and it has resulted in a lopsided world. The Occupy movement is right to ask for our economic system to be looked at. Capitalism was meant to provide for it all. It's not. When billionaires like Warren Buffett says that he wants to pay more tax and uses words like it's time for our government to get serious about shared sacrifices, then it really is time. And then, sorry.
Well done.
What is the future for us? Young people who form part of the 99%. Bleak if things carry on the way they are. The Occupy movement has been phenomenal in the way it has made the debate on inequality a part of everyday life. Now, when the banks first failed, it was seen as an economic problem. Nobody really could predict the way it would affect us all. Then it happened, but people weren't able to put a name to it. The Occupy movement has given us a language to describe what we are living, inequality. I don't understand the hypocrisy of society. While children are being abused, killed and neglected in their own houses, unnoticed by society or social service, the City of London's Director of Community and Children's Services provided a witness statement to say that the children were at Occupy spending time with drug addicts. Professor Richard Layard, the professor on happiness, said, "We do not need a society based on Darwinian competition between individuals beyond subsistence. The best experience any society can provide is the feeling that other people are on your side. This is the kind of capitalism we want." Occupy is stirring an intelligent debate about social justice, economics, race, feminism and education. These are the building blocks for sustainable living. Anyone who criticises Occupy misses the real picture. It's not about the tent, silly. It's about the redistribution of wealth, opportunities and ideas.